They say it's the land of the free, where man can do what he wants and live as it please. But that's not enough for me. The only stars and stripes I need is a twinkle in a tiger's eye, and the stripes on their back is all the freedom I need. Is all the freedom I need.
Well, I'll tell you, we're all sitting here social distancing, so we're calling in, and through the magic of technology, we're still having Lost in the Funhouse. We're just the workhorses, aren't we? That is how we roll. And tonight, we're going to be discussing, I guess, international phenomenon, and possibly, just possibly, the greatest documentary ever filmed, distributed, created, imagined, what have you, Tiger King, featuring the one, the only Joe Exotic.
Cue the cheesy country music about when tigers all man.
I like to hear kitty kitty.
Oh.
Oh, and let me just go ahead and warn you guys. I have been told, Misty expressed a concern. She said, since we're discussing Tiger King, that, if you've got younger listeners in the car, this might be a little explicit, because what we don't tell you, we got to say special thanks to Neil Scarecrow, because he does so much work all the time cutting out just the massive amounts of swearing that Misty does, Blondie does on a regular basis. She missed her calling as a merchant marine, a sailor, because I'm telling you.
All lies.
She could make a sailor blush. Scarecrow and I just sit around with our jaws hanging open. I mean, just looking at her like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she said that.
I know.
No, but
she has the greatest 4-letter vocabulary of all time.
This is why I get paid the big bucks to edit out all this, because it's a ton of work.
That is right.
You're lying. Let me telling people that.
See, what you guys don't know is he literally just had to edit out 15 minutes of her just cussing us out for telling you guys that on the air.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you think she's all like sweet and cool and calm and sunshine and rainbows, but no.
Get a clipboard and show notes in her hand with a pen. Oh, she's a beast.
Look out for those bullet points. They're going to be flying right at your head.
I can swear I heard her on the phone with Carole Baskin earlier.
But no, I told him, I said, we probably do need to put out a warning, possibly, because how in the world can you quote anything from this show without having a couple of words in there?
Indeed.
So,
and I can
put that warning out.
Well, let me just get this out of the way. It's that bitch Carole Baskin's fault. I'm telling you, if you watch Tiger King, if you hear that phrase once, you will have heard it. You will, by the end of the series, you will have heard it, 10,000 times?
At least.
Don't let that be a drinking game for you.
Oh yeah, you'll be passed out midway through the first. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys. I don't care. I'm Team Joe. I'm 100% Team Joe. Joe Exotic is awesome.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Team Joe all the way.
I'm Team Tiger.
You're Team Baskin.
No, I have to be Team Tiger over here, because I'm all for the animals. So when you've got, between all of the players, you've got Joe, you've got Carole, you've got that Doc Annell or whatever he is. So between the three, I have to go Team Tiger.
Let's do a quick poll. let's do a quick poll with the three of us, okay? Quick poll.
All
All
right.
right.
All right.
Say yay. By the time I'm going to count to three, say yay if you've ever had your picture made with one of Doc Antle's tigers. 1, 2, 3.
Yay!
True fact, y'all. Blondie, our own beloved Blondie, actually had her picture made holding one of Doc Antle's tigers.
Yeah. Because we live in South Carolina, and the Doc Antle's place is in Myrtle Beach, and there's a place in Myrtle Beach called Barefoot Landing, I believe, and he had like a little kind of place set up where he would bring a couple of the big tigers, and then he always had like some of the little cubs, and you could get your picture made with them. And one year I did while I was down there.
We all know Blondie loves having her picture made.
I got my picture made with holding one of the little cubs. So.
And I was not present. I did not take part in this because I would have given him a big what for about my buddy Joe Exotic.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known about Joe Exotic. Yeah.
I know, but I should have known about Joe Exotic because Joe Exotic is awesome.
And I'm going to try my best between the time we record and this comes out. I'm going to try to find that picture so I can put it up.
Yes.
Because I know I have it somewhere. I've seen it not long ago, so I'm going to try to find that. But it was a super, super cute little cub. And they did let people get pictures made with some of the bigger tigers, but I was a little weary of that.
Explain that picture. Explain that picture of you exchanging a $20 bill with Carole Baskin.
I don't know anything about that.
I think y'all are in cahoots.
Yeah.
Like when he was trying to do that promo and like the tiger starts going after his boot. And then he's just like dragging him. So he pulls out his revolver. He's firing at him. I'm like, oh.
And then it cuts to Carole Baskin after he's sitting there saying, I think somebody tried to kill me. They put perfume or something on my shoe. And it cuts right to Carole Baskin. And with a straight face, she goes, perfume on somebody's shoe wouldn't do anything and get a tiger riled up. You would have to have put sardine oil on it.
Yeah, fish oil.
And then she turns around and slowly mugs at the camera. And you know, then and there, in that spot, what happened to her husband.
Oh, dude, of course.
She gave him a sardine bath and a swift kick into the tiger cage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Too bad nobody dusted that meat grinder, you know?
Well, we're gonna get back to the wonderful world of Joe Exotic and that evil Carole Baskin here in a minute and talk about, Tiger King. But I did want to give a shout out. I hope everybody's safe and hunkering down and social distancing. Some of you that are listening to us don't have a choice, and trust me, that's probably a good thing. This is just weird, wild times right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's like an apocalypse without the zombies. But if the zombies were here, they'd be hoarding toilet paper. So, but everybody, we want everybody, all our listeners to be safe. We're practicing good social distancing while we're talking to you.
Which is why I sound great and they don't.
Oh, no.
Oh, I always sound great. I'm like the velvet fog.
No, I mean, quality-wise, since you're on the phone and I'm not. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go.
There are perks to being me.
Well, there you go. But we're all, like I said, we're all practicing the good social distancing. And but we did want to try to do our small part, us at the Funhouse, to all our fans and everybody out there listening. We kind of wanted, since you're probably looking for stuff to do, why not listen to our craziness for a little while?
Yeah. If not, just to entertain you or get your mind off of all the crap that's on the news and just kind of just chill for a little bit.
Yeah. It was just amazing. I saw that on the news today where it come out and they had found the source and where the coronavirus had come from. Did you see that?
I didn't.
It came from that bitch, Carole Baskin. Boom chow. I've been saving that one.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I have been. I've spent the week in between drawing. I'm drawing my butt off back here, but when I'm not drawing, Blondie will tell you I'm constantly sending her and Brett Tiger King memes.
Yep.
I want them too.
Oh, they're great.
Send them to me too.
We got some good ones. Brett sent me about 30 the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
So speaking of now and
Right.
Joe Exotic,
Yep.
I was looking up and they said he is quarantined by himself in jail right now as a
Why?
result of the virus. I don't know if they've got any cases in the jail and they're quarantining the inmates and
Now,
stuff.
see, I'm all sad now because I'm telling you, if this virus takes Joe Exotic, me and that virus are gonna tangle.
His current husband, Dylan, they
Yep.
are still very much in love and they talk 3 times a day still.
Right.
And that's
So
your
now it's just
and
the
that's
two
your
of them.
update.
There's no more throuple.
Do what?
So it's just the two of them now. There's no more throuple, right?
Not that I've seen. All the other straight guys got out.
Well, yeah, it's like two guys claiming they were straight, married to Joe Exotic. Oh, and they're married in a 3-way wedding. I mean, that is the
Right.
strangest thing. You know, I'm going to tell you guys. You know, you can tell I'm a lot more upbeat about this. You know, Blondie's over here just kind of listening to me go. You know, and how upbeat I am. But I've got to tell you, we're going through and looking on Netflix for something to watch, and we're looking at it, and Blondie's kind of like, "Oh, we can watch this," and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, you know, I'll play on my phone because you know, there it is
Right.
about some tigers and stuff. This will be pretty cool.
But I had actually
But I didn't.
I had actually listened to a podcast about it.
How long ago did you listen to this podcast about it?
Probably about a year ago.
I am so mad at you right
Really?
now.
You've been holding
But-
out
You
on us?
withheld Joe Exotic from me for a full year of my life.
Sure did.
Well, it was a crazy. I mean, it was pretty crazy. But it did not go to the lengths that the series did because you couldn't see all these people.
Right.
I mean, you could hear them talking, but you know, they had like, and it was funny. And I'm like, yeah, these people sound crazy, but seeing them was a whole different thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I mean, it was just a thing of beauty. I mean, I'm sitting there watching this thing, and I'm like, how in the world? But speaking of series and Tiger King, did you guys happen to know that Kate McKenna, you know, from Saturday Night Live,
Yeah.
is she has the rights or whatever. Her production company, I think, has the rights. I was reading. I think it was her production company, but I think she's going to be playing Carole Baskin.
Really?
And yeah, and she's going to do like a comedy series about it.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And Joe just wrote to Trump asking for a pardon.
Did he now?
Yes, he did.
You have to do it in his voice.
Well, it's a whole thing, but I'm just going to kind of summarize it.
How would he ask for a pardon?
President Trump, I've got all the evidence in the world, and based on that hit series that just came out, Tiger King, I'm the Tiger King, and you can see that bitch Carole Baskin and that slimeball Jeff Lowe, they got together and they conspired against me, and I have all the evidence in the world, which there's no telling what kind of evidence he has, but
Right.
it's
Somebody who torches his own place.
Well, did y'all know that when Joe Exotic was 19, he was a police chief?
Really?
What?
Now? Was this on that
Yeah.
podcast?
No.
When he was
He
19?
was 19.
What? The police chief of his sandbox? I mean, what? That's just weird.
A minute.
Was he still in Oklahoma?
When he was 19 years old, he held the position in Eastville, Texas, but only a few officers reported to him.
I bet they did.
I don't know how big of a place Eastville, Texas is, but
Population 2.
Right.
I don't know either, but I'm just sitting here imagining, it just like one little jailhouse, like smaller than the one on
Andy
Griffith's
Griffith.
show,
Yeah.
Mayberry.
Yeah.
And Joe Exotic being the sheriff. Oh my goodness.
But one thing I was disappointed about too, though, was that I thought he was actually singing those songs. Because every time it played the song,
he Milli Vanilli'd it.
Yeah,
I was like, every time it would come on and he was singing, I was like, well, I was like, he's a pretty good singer.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he's not bad at all. And
well, in my mind, he sang the songs himself and wrote them and performed them, and yeah, Joe Exotic can do no wrong.
But when he would do them live, like when he sang at the funeral or whatever, and you would hear the voices side by side, you're like, there's no way in hell that's him.
Well, how speaking of the funeral, how about that eulogy?
Oh, wow. Right.
Misty.
We said explicit.
Yeah, but I mean, we've already had to edit about 30 minutes worth of footage out from your stuff, so I guess that can stay. I mean, that's the least of what you said. I'm serious. I mean, starting to worry me. We have an ordinance in town.
Yeah. I'm just finding some interesting facts, outside of the series.
Well, hit us with some interesting facts, some factoids about my hero, Joe Exotic.
All right. You want another fun fact?
I want all kind of fun facts.
So on the show.
What else am I going to do? I'm on quarantine.
So on the show,
hit me, baby.
He had 3 husbands that it actually showed on the show.
Right.
Well, he had another one before them, and I think his name was JC, and he's actually in prison now for murder.
Wow.
I see.
He could have used him against Carole Baskin.
No doubt.
He didn't plan ahead.
He was already headed there anyway. Why not get something out of it?
Yeah.
So, and one of his husbands, the John Finley.
Yeah.
That had the
with the teeth.
The teeth.
Yeah. Meth teeth.
He got new teeth.
The straight one.
His teeth were methy.
Methy.
Yeah, they were.
Methy.
The 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost
Talk about social distancing. His teeth were social distancing long before we were.
But he has new teeth now.
I haven't seen that. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, it's weird looking after seeing him talk. Yeah.
He has all new teeth. But another thing about John Finley, if there is a movie made, do you know who he wants to play him?
I'm scared to ask.
I don't know who.
He wants Channing Tatum to play him.
Wow.
I was thinking more Banjo Boy from Deliverance. But, that's just me, eye to casting there. What's the guy's name? He is, and this ties back into one of our epic episodes of Blondieism, the Veronica Mars episode. The girl that plays Veronica Mars.
Uh-huh.
What's her name? I'm horrible with names. What's her name?
I don't know.
So don't tell me you're spacing. Blondie.
What?
Well, you know her husband?
Yeah, Zach Shepard.
Okay. That Shepard. That Shepard. He is on Twitter actively campaigning to play Joe Exotic.
Oh my God.
Seriously?
He wants to play. He said he will do whatever to play Joe Exotic. He's a man after my own heart. I'd play Joe Exotic if they'd let me. I'd be a good one. So it's going to be So it's going to be interesting to see if he gets to play the part.
So you guys want another fun fact?
How many times do I have to tell you yes?
So you remember the Rick Kirkham, the one that was the producer or whatever?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Man, I bet he's regretting a lot of stuff in his life right now.
So yeah. Well, fun fact about him: when he was 16 years old, he was a dancer on Dick Clark's American Bandstand.
That doesn't surprise me. That dude's done everything. I mean, I used to watch him. He used to come on the Inside Edition. I believe it was Inside Edition, I think. But
another interesting thing, Joe Exotic and the Jeff
Lowe.
Yeah, they were going to go in together, before everything happened. They were going to go in together, and they almost opened a bisexual strip club / petting zoo.
Oh, sweet heaven.
And they were going to call it.
See, even my chihuahuas didn't like that. Ladies and gentlemen, those are my chihuahuas, Kinsley and Charlie. Isn't she melodic? She's trying to sing a song about tigers.
So she had a problem with the bisexual strip club.
Clearly.
But the name of it was going to be Tigers and Dreams.
Kinsley was just afraid we were going to put her in it. She's like, I ain't going to no bisexual stripper petting zoo. And let me go ahead and apologize, everybody, because we're having to call in, and we're using my phone because Blondie's lazy. And on my phone, it always is going off. So those little beeps you hear is not like a little astromech droid that has wandered onto the set. It is literally my phone just going beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. If you're watching TV, it's like Talking Dead after Walking Dead, all these different shows, the news shows and stuff where they're all on set. Now they're all in little boxes and windows from at home.
Right.
And half the time the feed's not working or it's upside down.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, it's just all kind of wonky.
Yeah, you're just staring up their nose.
Normal. Yeah, that's the new normal these days. Okay, Blondie Bear.
Hey, you know that this was not Joe Exotic's first documentary?
No, I did not. And where can I find the first one?
The first one, he was in a BBC documentary called Lewis Throw American. Let me try that one more time.
Please. Please do.
How about you read that?
Oh, okay. Hold it up. Hold up the phone. I can't read it.
Well, I got to get back to it.
What have you done?
Okay.
Blondie's our crack researcher. And literally that means she's a researcher on crack. Louis Theroux, America's Most Dangerous Pets.
Oh.
Back in 2011.
Yes. It's like Steady Bonet all over again.
Hey.
Guys, why I said that, I've got to interject.
Tell that story.
I don't know if we have, but I've just got to. We may have already said this before, so I'm going to keep it brief. We were on our way back from the beach. We were reading. I was driving. Brett was in the back seat. Blondie was in the passenger side. And we had bought one of those Ghosts of the Carolinas, Pirates, and all that kind of book. So Brett was like, hey, Blondie, read me a story. So she started reading about pirates and ghosts and stuff. And there was one about Stede Bonnet, a famous pirate that was killed off the coast of the Carolinas.
Yeah. Okay?
Well, of course, Blondie is reading it as Steady Bonet.
Oh, that's right. I think we did talk about this.
I think we did, but that's just it bears repeating. I wish I'm going to have to re-listen to that about how you pronounce that name because now I can't even think about it. Thoreau. Not Thoreau.
Thoreau.
Is that what you said?
Thoreau.
I don't know. Go to the next fact. You're annoying me. Go to the next fact.
I did. I think you were the one that told me this.
Entertain me.
That the alligators that Joe Exotic had were from Neverland Ranch.
Yep, they were Michael Jackson's alligators, the ones that burned in that fire.
I heard that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you remember that dude that didn't have The legs?
Well, who would have thought that Joe Exotic would have been doing business with Michael Jackson?
Well, I'm sure Michael Jackson didn't directly. They probably.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, go ahead.
We don't have any facts on that.
Oh, Shaquille O'Neal, who was in the documentary, has come out, and he's all.
Yeah, he was like, no.
Yeah, he's like, no, we weren't friends. We weren't friends.
I beg to differ.
But okay, the guy that didn't have any legs, the John Rinke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The accident they talked about, they said that it was much worse than what they had told.
Really?
Because they said that he lost his legs from a zip lining accident.
Right.
Or bungee jump accident.
But they didn't say it was over a crocodile farm.
But they said what actually happened was he tumbled down 55 feet to the ground, crushing his leg.
Ooh.
But he didn't just land on the earth. He fell onto a 6-inch metal stake, piercing his colon and stomach.
Ooh.
Oh! Now, hold on a second. If y'all have not seen Tiger King yet, you heard what Blondie just said. This was not mentioned at all in the documentary. So if they're going to leave that sensationalistic fact out, imagine the fact that they did not have room to put that in because it was not sensational enough.
Right.
Because let me put this in perspective. How many episodes was Tiger King?
Was it
7.
7. Okay, and what were they, about 30 minutes a piece or 45?
Yeah.
Okay, 7 45-minute episodes, right?
Yeah.
And they had all these cast of characters. One of the people in the show was the actual inspiration for Tony Montana from Scarface and was literally on the screen talking about the chainsaw scene. But they didn't even explore that. They were like, that's old hat. That's boring. Let's go back to Joe Exotic and Carole Baskin. This is great. I'm telling you, it was just, because when the inspiration for Scarface does not rate being like one of the main topics in this documentary, because again, there's not enough time because the insane chicanery and monkey shines and shenanigans in this thing were far more interesting and binge-worthy than the real-life Tony Montana. That's just crazy. That should tell you all why we are sitting here discussing and talking about possibly the greatest documentary of all time. One for the ages. Ken Burns put all his stuff. Yeah, okay, it's pretty good. But this is true high art. It is wonderful. I strongly suggest it. So I give it 2 Copic markers up. Blondie, you got some more fun factoids to share with us? She's got this weird look on her face like she's confused.
I'm looking. I ran out of the one I was looking at.
You ran out of the one you were looking at.
Was that good English?
That was not gooder English.
Gooder.
You not there use English right. This is what I deal with, folks. I mean, seriously. I mean, you guys have no idea. My relationship with Blondie, it costs me so much just because I have to keep hiring a translator.
Hey, you cannot say anything.
Oh, I can.
Oh,
and
no.
a censor.
Oh, I can. I can.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll say something that makes absolutely no sense.
I'm allowed to. I'm an artiste.
Yeah. Oh, did you know?
I did not.
Britney Spears had a performance on MTV where she had a tiger.
Yeah.
And one of those tigers was Doc Antle's tiger.
I didn't know Britney. I
in 2001 to the
Britney
VMAs.
Spears, but
was it VMA?
Yeah,
but
2001.
He has. I mean, it talks about the documentary because he brags about it for like 10 minutes about all the different things and all the different movies. And
Yeah, he does.
yeah, I mean, that dude was weird, man. And knowing he was in Myrtle Beach, ran a freaking sex cult,
Yeah, he did.
made his female workers get boob jobs and change their names to exotic things and stuff like that, and live on the premises, and like I said, virtual sex cult. And apparently Blondie could not resist getting a picture with one of his tiger cubs.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
But did you know, Joe Exotic's zoo is still open?
Yes, and it's being run by Jeff Lowe.
Well, it says it's not doing very financially well, but the news.
Oh, let me tell you.
There's a shocker.
That Jeff is supposed to open this summer,
Yeah.
2020.
Well, I've been on the Facebook page, Joe Exotic's.
Okay.
I've been on Joe Exotic's Facebook page.
So
And
Joe
him-
Exotic does have a Facebook page.
And him and Jeff Lowe are actively fighting back and forth, exchanging words over that zoo. And he is still running that zoo. And let me tell you, that zoo is going to as soon as the social distancing thing is over with and everybody can book a plane ride again, they better build a bigger airport, because people are going to that zoo just to see where this stuff happened.
Well, yeah, I saw that that museum where he donated some of those tiger bones. They said that there was a whole bunch of people going there to see the bones.
Yeah.
Things.
I know. And
see, Team Tiger over here.
Yeah, okay, Carol. So, the thing is, I have to watch her. She's coming at me with that sardine oil. Yeah, why did you? Everybody else in the free world was, stocking up on toilet paper, and you just came out of there with a big box of sardine oil. Yeah, you trying to send me a message?
Just watched a documentary on it.
I mean, she describes in detail how, if you want to get away with it and do it, how to do it. But she didn't do it. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Okay, do you know that Joe bred lots of lions and tiger hybrids because he hoped he would eventually lead to a recreation of a prehistoric saber-toothed tiger?
Well, Misty, it's Joe Exotic. You can't argue with science.
That's very true.
He is one of our top intellectual scientists. I'm telling you. It's like, he is such a character. Him in that parade.
Oh, right.
Flights around him and him waving to everybody. Oh. And he told that guy, hey, you want to sit up there with a tiger? Go ahead.
Right?
Sure. Safety first.
And then,
I think what he was giving out for his campaign thing,
oh yeah, he was giving condoms.
That's right.
Joe Exotic will protect you, and it had his face on a condom wrapper.
Oh, did you know Rick Kirkham's Texas house burned down 6 months after the TV studio fire?
Where was Joe?
Who knows?
After the studio fire? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he moved to Norway, which is where he lives now. He got the out of here.
Right.
See, we had to beep her again. Blondie, we said we would do that if we were having to quote Joe or one of the characters. We didn't say it was going to give open license to use your salty language.
Yeah.
And was it the second or third episode, right at the beginning when Saf gets her arm ripped off?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, wow, dude. And then he goes into the gift shop. I just want to tell y'all that we had an employee that got their arm ripped damn near off, and they're bleeding pretty bad, and it's looking bad. And I don't want to alarm you, but I'll give you your money back if you want.
Oh, and then it cuts away for a minute, cuts back to him, and he's sitting there like he's just he's shaking his head, got his head in his hand. I don't think I'll ever financially recover from this.
But can we take a minute though when they get their arm?
We're on quarantine. We got all the time in the world, Blondie. Continue.
When they get their arm mauled off, and all of a sudden he has an EMT jacket
out of nowhere. Like he ran into a nearby phone booth.
Right, it's like a quick change thing. Like, I'll save the day.
He literally, and to tell you guys something, I would love to say I noticed it the first watch through. I didn't notice it until somebody put up a meme about it, and I was like, I'll be turned.
Yeah, it's got the badge and everything.
I mean, it's got the badge. It's like a bomber jacket. It's an actual EMT because the craziness
that was going on. I was just shocked about somebody losing.
Let's put it this way: you could have an 18-ring circus in the center of town, but if the town's on fire, you're not going to notice it.
And
so it's like I've never seen anything like this.
Let's just take a minute to talk about how lucky he was to have an employee that wasn't going to rake him over the coals.
Yeah, listen, that was a lull, and she didn't even throw him over the coals in the interview.
I know.
But let me tell you,
how much money did she get?
I don't know, but Carole Baskin,
she got a ton.
How about Carole Baskin having slave labor on the premises?
Right, she doesn't pay anybody.
You work 7 days. You work basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and after a year, you get a different color T-shirt.
Right, and you're a volunteer.
And once you've made your way up to like, I mean, basically, she was like one of these crappy Brazilian jiu-jitsu strip mall things where they give you a little belt or whatever, and send you out into the world.
Yeah,
that's basically what she was doing. She had a belt system, only she decided to go with shirts.
Yeah,
they were different colors, meant different things. It was the craziest thing in the world. And to all you who are listening, I said crappy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sorry. You have to understand that's coming from my background as a catch enthusiast and a catch wrestler guy. So apologies to those. I'm sure it's a very fine defense system. But go ahead.
We warned you at the beginning.
Yeah, when we said explicit content, we weren't exactly meaning swearing all the time.
It was also my opinions. Because I have been known once or twice to be a little opinionated.
You? No.
Yeah, I know. That's what they have to bleep me. I can't tell you how much Neil's had to cut out of me going off on a tangent. On full rampage.
Just so we don't offend the world.
Oh, no. Good times. So Blondie, give us some more factoids. You're over here pulling up factoids.
Well, I mean, you want like funny facts or
any kind of fact, isn't it?
Yeah, anything.
Well, I was about to say it doesn't have to be funny, but considering it is about what happened with the Tiger King, it's got to be. I mean, it's just got to be. I have heard because Carole Baskin came out on her page, the what is it, Big Cat Rescue, and put up a huge thing, a letter that in which she basically was trying to, as a rebuttal to how she was portrayed, she was blaming Netflix, and Netflix told her that it was going to be a documentary about her work with tigers, about saving tigers, but it basically turned her into Darth Vader.
Yeah, well, you got to feed the tiger something. Why not your husband who's trying to leave you? Just saying.
Well, I know, and some of the stuff she said in a rebuttal, I've heard she's edited it a couple of times since because it's sticky noted. Yeah, it's sticky noted. But some of the stuff she had said in there, apparently, now this is what I read, implicated her to basically some of the cold case leads that they weren't sure really went anywhere.
Oh.
it kind of helped tie some things together.
Yeah.
So I look in the next year or two to, I'll just say this: Carole Baskin better consider really social distancing. The whole time we're watching that, every time she'd come on screen riding that bike around on that documentary around the park, I'd sit there. Dun, 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 dun. All I could think of was Miss Gulch on that bicycle in The Wizard of Oz. I'll get you, Joe Exotic. And your little tigers, too.
Well, didn't she say that when she was younger, she was allergic to cats?
I thought she still was. 'Cause she said all the furniture in her house is stone and like hardwood.
But she had imaginary cats.
Yeah.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah, the two
She probably had
imaginary
imaginary
cats.
friends, too, and an imaginary husband that she probably fed to an imaginary tiger.
No,
I'm sure.
I think that was actually real. The husband thing was real.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and the tiger, yeah, that was real, too.
Have you seen the theory,
oh, yeah.
about that what's his name?
Jeff Lowe.
That he could possibly be her first husband.
Really?
And they had pictures of her first husband and then Jeff Lowe side by side, and then somebody kind of like blended their faces
I
together.
didn't buy into this till Blondie, because I thought this was one of Blondie's harebrained things she comes up with, and I was sitting there and she showed it to me and I was like, holy crap.
I mean, they do look a lot alike, and but that's what kind of a fan or a theory or whatever.
And before you get on to me about saying harebrained things, you have told me multiple times that you don't think the moon landing was real. So I outed you on that. Yeah. Me and Brett have a real bone to pick with you. Me and Brett would argue hours with you on that.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm dead serious. Me and Brett used to argue with her for hours on that.
You seriously don't think it was real, Blondie?
Brett would be ranting. Brett would be all but pulling up charts and strings and tying things together to show her.
So I'm looking up the Carole Baskin husband and Jeff Lowe. Yeah. That's
Did you find the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty similar.
But they were saying, like, the fan theory was that she promised him some money and he helped her get rid of her husband, and then now she's got him helping to get rid of Joe Exotic.
Yeah. And again, I heard that when this was about to come out, the Tiger King documentary, she did not want to be around when this first came out because, she was worried about, the backlash and everything. So she went on vacation and she stopped off at a little wet market over in Wuhan, China.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. Too soon. All right. Give us some factoids, Blondie.
Well, I mean, I'm out of those facts. I was looking at the actual real facts about having.
Oh, the others weren't real facts?
No. I mean, they were real facts, but I'm talking about like serious facts about.
They weren't serious facts?
Care of the of tigers and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's kind of sad. I mean, knowing
it's
now,
not kind of sad. It's really sad.
I mean, because knowing now, I mean.
And I'm gonna tell you, out of all of them, I believe in the beginning, when he started it, I do believe old Joe Exotic really, really did love the Tigers and want to be. But I think he got so caught up with being a personality and his war with Carole Baskin that he started letting a lot of things slide, started cutting a lot of corners. But I think, honestly, out of everybody on that show, he was probably the one that cared about the Tigers the most. But then it went off the rails toward the end.
Yeah, I'll say it did.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say that. I mean, he's got a lot of questionable things that he did.
A few.
But
you can't. Joe Exotic, his actions are unimpeachable.
I mean, they all do. I mean, because the simple fact is, if you're breeding the tigers to be in captivity, I mean, they have no other choice.
I don't like that.
They're never gonna. You can't ever release them. That's all they're ever gonna know, and it's cruel to keep them in cages like that.
I agree, but if you look, and I'm not saying that Joe Exotic's park was this great utopia for the tigers, but if you looked, go back and watch it again. When you look at the other parks, because somebody pointed this out online, if you look at the other parks, like even Carole Baskin, this great defender of the tigers, right? They were basically, sometimes they were in cages where they could barely turn around.
Yeah, that's cruel.
At least Joe had a lot of them and everything else, and he got into a situation which, a lot of it he aggravated and got into himself. But when he started that war, I'm not going to say he started, but when he got into that war and decided he was going to actively participate in that war with Carole Baskin, and then he got caught up, it really went to hell when he decided that he was going to sit down and do that documentary, and also at the same time ramp up his war with Carole Baskin, plus run for president. What are you talking about?
Mind.
No, what were you going to say?
I don't know what I was
say
going to say.
Did you just totally forget, or are you just not wanting to say?
I don't know what I was going for.
Are you talking about when he, like in 2016? Yeah, he was in there and he was running as a libertarian candidate against like Trump and Hillary and all those. And then he decided, he goes, heck, I'm not going to win this. So he dropped down and he ran for governor. And this is what is great. In Oklahoma, when he ran for governor, he got 15% of the vote.
It was 19, wasn't it?
Oh, it may have been. Yeah, was either 15 or 19, but in either space, 15 or 19, that is a large percentage. For a independent or libertarian or somebody. I mean, that's pretty long. They usually like track at about point something percent. So there you have it.
But could we take another second to remember the other guy that was on the show riding his jet ski for no
the little round mound of sound with a Buster Brown haircut.
Wow. How long you been holding that one in?
Yeah, I know, right? And when he comes in and he's riding that jet ski, and he went up to him and said, "Hey, I got a jet ski," because there was no other footage of the ocean and all that stuff.
Near an ocean.
And he says,
Oklahoma, right?
Take a shot of me riding in on the jet ski, and they set it to Eye of the Tiger. And he's on that thing riding around they're getting all these shots, all these hero shots. And I'm sitting here going, this guy is an absolute scumbag. And the other thing about that guy, I can't remember his name. I just call him, Joe Exotic referred to him as a walking, talking Chucky doll.
Yeah.
Basically, this guy, I know like he ran some strip clubs, but then he had other businesses. And every time they would interview with him, he was in this store like in downtown, wherever in Oklahoma. He's in the middle. I mean, it's obviously a downtown area.
And there's no like sign on it or anything.
No, there's no sign on it or anything. But you go in there and he's sitting there behind a desk.
What's he selling? Nobody
knows. There's no telling. Apparently, he's selling information to the FBI. I want to be one of them there informants.
Hey, James.
Oh, yeah, and you watch the video of it, man. He's riding into Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
And, the sad thing is everybody who's listening to this right now, and has not watched this is thinking we're either making all this stuff up, or I guarantee you we have missed. I guarantee you, because we thoroughly discussed all kind of little things about it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you we have missed something. And if you're wondering, I mean, not that we're not always, you guys who've listened to us before know we're always scattered and all over the place. But in this case, there is no way. This would have taken 2 years worth of podcasts to do this in order and get every little nook and cranny. I mean, I think, it was like you said, 7 episodes, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I think they just finally gave up. They're probably like, seriously, if we don't just go ahead and wrap this up and get it packaged into a series, it was probably supposed to be about an hour and a half to begin with. And then they're like, we've got to cut this thing down. And if we stay out here any longer, we're gonna have to create our own network to air this on 24/7, which I would have watched.
Well, apparently they're talking about, Netflix is talking about having a Tiger King too.
Yeah, but they've got to have Joe Exotic.
Right? Unless he hosts it from his cell.
True.
I'm sure he's picked out somebody to play him. He's probably wanting Matthew McConaughey to play him. Channing Tatum.
He already found a Carole Baskin lookalike for his music video.
Yes, he did.
Oh my God, that was.
Here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty. Oh my goodness. And he, and I just don't know enough of what to say when you've got the guy in there who was the basis of Tony Montana, or however you pronounce it. I mean, Scarface. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, this guy's going to talk about the chainsaw scene. And the guy was literally talking about it. And he was, honestly, to anybody who hasn't seen it, when you see it, seriously, email me and tell me if that guy who was the inspiration for Scarface does not come across as the most normal person in this documentary. Everybody else is just bat crap crazy. Yeah, so y'all can see we're off our rockers here talking. I haven't had a con in over a month. I've had personal appearances canceled because of this thing.
Yeah, we talked about that on the last podcast that we're going to be going up to Knoxville.
Yeah, that's been rescheduled. We don't know when it's going to be yet. But I've already been in touch with the store owner, and really nice guy, and I can't wait to come up there. It's Golden Age up in Maryville, Tennessee, and Blondie and I are going to go up there. The guy was really nice. We ended up talking a good 30 minutes on the phone, common interest, stuff like that. But he's just a really good guy, loves his fans up there around in the area. And so I got it worked out with him that as soon as this finally, God willing, comes to an end, we're going to talk with him about rescheduling. But pretty much every con we have has pretty much been canceled up to the ones in June.
Yeah. That's they haven't made a decision yet on some of the bigger ones in June yet. But
well, now I spoke to Carla at Heroes.
Yeah.
And she told me that as of now, everything's a go. But as anybody listening and anybody living on planet Earth right now knows, those are the best intentions. Because right now, really none of us know.
Yeah.
What's going to happen, when it's going to be over, that kind of thing. So I'm really, truly hoping that all of you out there that's listening stay safe. Do take this seriously. Just to be honest with you, none of us really know. We don't know what the actual facts are from other countries. We don't know. I mean, heck, we don't know what a lot of the facts are in our country on this thing. But I will say this: I'm very. There are a lot of examples of people being a-holes.
Here at Lewis Insurance, we take pride. We take pride in insuring each and every one of you against your tagger. You know that tagger cub you bought last year? He's a full-grown hungry tagger this year, and you don't want to enter that cage without your insurance. Rest easy knowing that if you're 8 today, that Lewis Insurance will pay that claim if nothing remains. Lewis Insurance, a leader in tagger insurance.
I kind of expected going in this to see, sadly, and Blondie will tell you, and Scarecrow will tell you, I'm usually a glass half empty kind of guy, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Me and Brett both.
No, that's what I told you one time. I was like, come on. I was like, glass half full. And you were like, I don't even have a glass. My glass is laying in the floor.
Yeah, me and my son Brett, we are glass half empty all the way. We're team glass half empty. But so I was really looking, and there have been a lot of examples, but not even a drop in the bucket compared to what I've expected of people being just a-holes and hoarding and price gouging and that type of thing. Obviously there's been a lot of that, but our government's really cracked down on it really quick. And not just our government. I think our government has done a good job cracking down on it very quickly, but also, social media has really turned those people into pariahs. And one of the cool things is, this is a bad situation no matter how you look at it. But at the same time, it's a little bit hopeful because no matter what side of the political aisle you stood on, and people were banging heads and arguing every day over political ideals, and it was really getting out of control. And now everybody's really trying to help everybody, from all walks of life. I mean, I've seen so many examples of it. I've seen examples of it in my own life. Done some things, paying it forward. I have. It's just unbelievable. And for those of you, it's changed for everybody because, I think I've talked before about the class I teach for the kids back here at the Easley Fine Arts Center.
Yeah.
It completely decimated those classes, and I love those kids and love teaching those kids. And but we started back today, and we are doing virtual classes online.
Nice.
And so far it's going so well that I've talked with the lady at the Fine Arts Center, and we very well may open up virtual classes in the future going forward to some of you who either yourself might be an aspiring artist, or you may have a child or someone who's an aspiring artist who wants to come in, and we can work it kind of like we're doing now with a correspondence kind of thing. Because I really do love teaching, and I love talking about art. If Blondie will tell you, when somebody comes up to my table at a con, I will sit there and talk art.
Little mini lessons.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy it. And I really do. I mean, I love talking technique and tools with my fellow artists. And we may have totally different techniques, but we can learn from each other and everybody else. And then people will bring up their kids, and they'll sit there and say, introduce them to me and other artists. And whenever I do, I try to sit there and talk to them and sit down and give them a little impromptu drawing lesson there at the table, because I just have so much fun, and I love what I do. And to all the comic fans that are out there, thank you, and particularly because without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I love to do. So I always like to try to take time and pay it forward, kind of a thing. But Blondie here, she's kind of the opposite. People come up all the time asking her for cosplay advice, and I've seen her kick a couple of kids before, and then cuss at them like a sailor.
Oh my!
And then run off away from them, going.
See, if this is the only podcast that they've ever listened to, they're gonna walk away thinking that I'm like what, a drunk sailor that wants to beat everybody up or something.
You and your Hulk Hogan sunglasses. Y'all, she is sitting here wearing Hulk Hogan sunglasses on her head. Oh, speaking of which, all right. From time to time we talk about wrestling, etc. All right, I'm just going to tell you, I think Hulk Hogan is a brilliant marketer, but anybody who knows me and knows my kid, Brett, knows we cannot absolutely stand Hulk Hogan. He is like the antithesis. He is like the complete opposite of a wrestler. It's just like, oh my goodness. It's painful to watch him wrestle. Great interviews, great entertainer. Give him high marks and all that, but the wrestling aspect of it is just painful to watch. So anyway, I was going through, the other day, looking through Twitter or some social media, and y'all are never going to believe this. They're about to do, Netflix is doing a Hulk Hogan, either a biopic or a bio series. Anybody want to guess who's playing Hulk Hogan?
I don't know who.
Chris Hemsworth.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
Can't even see how that's the thing.
No, I can't see it.
I mean, my goodness, because literally, I've never met Chris Hemsworth. I don't know Chris Hemsworth. I've seen him in the Avengers movies like anybody else has. But when I'm sitting there thinking, I'm thinking he probably has actually more experience literally wrestling than Hulk Hogan. But there you have it, but just imagine that. I don't know. I'm just talking off the cuff because it made me think of it because, like I said, Blondie's sitting over there all smug looking with her Hulk Hogan sunglasses on her head.
Yep.
She looked at me at one point and asked me what I was going to do. What you going to do, brother? Anyway.
Well, guys, you need to be safe out there and
share your toilet paper.
Share your toilet paper
for those who weren't able to get any.
Give extra love to the puppies and the kittens
because
they are not used to you being there, and they are so excited.
And wash your hands.
Mine are used to me being here all the time.
Yeah. This isn't much different for you.
No, I mean, except for the travel thing. Other than that, because I'm working from home in the studio. Of
course, I'm working from home and
she's hating she is hating every minute of working from home, everyone.
Yeah. But I go into my spare bedroom, and I think my dogs forget that I'm there because I'm not normally there. And then when I come walking out during the day, they're like, oh, "You're here."
Do you think it's a surprise shock or shock at your vulgar language?
That's true.
See, she's laughing, y'all. She's trying to persuade being so sweet and innocent. Y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know. y'all know. The struggle is real.
So is there anything else that we need to talk about? Or plug?
Yeah, anybody got anything that they want to plug that they're not going to be having anytime soon?
No. I got nothing.
Well, that was sad.
Yeah. That was probably, and hopefully, God willing, that will be our only world's saddest plug.
Right.
I will. Let me plug something for a buddy of mine. A buddy of all of ours, Papa Maestro.
Yeah.
He is, he has the WCW Retro podcast.
Yeah.
He literally, some of those beeps that you guys heard early on, that was Papa Strode texting me. So, him and I talked a good bit, and I'm sure if I'd have told him I was in the middle of doing the podcast, he would have said hello.
You should have done a
So-
3-way call.
I should
him on.
have.
Oh,
I should have. I should have. You know what? We ought to, the next one we do from quarantine,
Yeah.
we ought to get Papa Stro in on it.
Yeah, we'll do a
Maybe-
Facebook chat, and that way it's a lot cleaner, and we can add as many people as we want.
Oh, cool. We can get Crippler in on it too.
Yeah, yes.
And have Crippler and Stro on there at the same time talking wrestling.
Yeah, let's do it.
That would be amazing. Blondie's giving me the wrap up
Yeah.
signal, and if we don't wrap up soon, she's going to start cussing. And
no.
Yeah, we're at 1 hour and 17 minutes right now.
Yeah, you gotta edit that. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then it's time to
free Joe Exotic. Just throwing that out there. But seriously, you guys stay safe. And for us, I guess as normal, it's time to get lost.
in the Funhouse.